Hello again, children of the world. Today we're going to be talking about a painting I made in gouache. It's the second painting I've done, and I'm actually really happy with it. I mean, there are some things that could be improved, but anyway, I'm really happy with how it came out. And I'm here with my friend Adonis. Say hi.
Hello.
So, wow, I feel so much more natural speaking, especially when I'm like talking to someone else at the same time. But basically, there's like a story behind this drawing, and that story starts on Pinterest. But I won't bore you with those details. Basically, I got some photos.
I'm already bored.
Okay. Anyhow, so I got some reference photos that I liked, and I was like, I really want to make this look like something that's complete and whole. And that was after I saw on Instagram this new artist that I'm following that makes these environments that are just so beautiful, and they look complete. Like it could be like a small area with like a character, but it just looks like its own environment. It has its own mood. I don't know. And they're painted in watercolor, I think. And they're just so gorgeous. But anyhow, I wanted to achieve something like that, so I looked up a bunch of reference photos of like drastically different places, and this is what I ended up with. So it starts off with our witch saunas, if you haven't heard of that, or the Make Your Mark challenge. It was something that my friends and I created around the beginning of the summer or the end of spring, depending on where you live, I guess. And so it starts off on like a hideaway, like an island kind of, and we're kind of just chilling in the hot springs on the rocks, and there's like little waterfalls, and we're camping out there. And then some things were kind of left up to interpretation, like that little cove with the little lights in it. They could be crystals, they could be lanterns, but it's mostly up for interpretation because I'm really lazy, and like I didn't care that much about that much detail on a 9x12 piece of paper. Anyhow, so the clouds, I just wanted to give them a look that would kind of reflect what was going on with the environment itself, so that way the colors would make sense. So they started off yellow because I started off with like white mountains, but then I wanted to add color to them, and I really regretted making them pink, but I feel like in the end it kind of worked out. And so the little character with the space buns and the curly hair in the center is me. That's my witch Sana, and she's just like looking at the waterfalls, and they're kind of just hanging out, The one that's laying on the rock is Adonis. He's here with me today. And then the little dog is my friend Sarah's dog in real life. His name is Dipper. I named him. And
You named Dipper?
I named him. And I'll never not be proud of that. That is my son. That's my boy. I'm so proud of him. He's such a good boy when he wants to be. And the little character who's sitting next to him, who isn't quite drawn out yet, but painted yet, right there, that's her. That's Sarah. And the rocks were really fun to work on. I tried to give them a texture that looked like they were actually wet, but I also tried to figure out how to mix my paints as I was mixing them. So there's that. And I noticed when I tried to take pictures of it with my phone, it was like not vibrant at all. Like the colors looked so gross until I like used my camera to take a photo. And there's like a little hill that kind of goes down just because I didn't know what to do with the space. Like I drew it out and then I forgot what it was, so it turned into like a little grassy area. And if you look up at the clouds, I really did try and blend them without completely reactivating the gouache, because I got watercolor gouache, And if anyone's wondering, I have Holbein artist gouache, not the acrylic gouache, because, I mean, as a beginner, I just feel like it's not something good to start out with. But it also made it really easy to rework the painting the next day when I finished it. And then, if you look at the little characters, they're kind of representative of other characters in like my Witch Sauna universe, and just people that are also in that little universe that my friends and I share. And in the waterfall, it's supposed to be my friend Alana, the one who's like sitting over there. But oh yeah, you can see it. And then they're over there like sitting on a rock and waving next to her is supposed to be Laura. And if you look into the tiny little cave above the fairy lights, that's what they're supposed to be, you'll find Stefan and Dominic, who are characters from a comic that I made senior year of high school. And I just really liked the designs for them, so I ended up keeping them. And I continued the comic a bit past what we had to do for class. But eventually, when I moved, I lost all the pages somehow. I think my mom threw them out or something, and I was really pissed. But that's part of why I never really finished it. But I do still try to develop them and show their personalities when I draw them in my work now. And during Inktober, which is when the whole Witch Sauna thing started. And then up top is one of my friends named Jacob, and he just lives around here. But yeah, that's all I can really say about him. And I spent a lot of time trying to give the grass a texture, and it was a struggle, but not as much as a struggle as those clouds. Honestly, I got lucky that they came out as well as they did, which wasn't that well. They kind of look muddy in the end, but that's not really the fault of the paint. That's more so me not knowing what I was doing and not knowing when it was dry or not, or wanting to touch it for fear of smearing it. And then the waterfall, the cave under the little waterfall that Alana is supposed to be sitting in is just a hot mess. I did not know what I was doing. I didn't know what colors to use to shade it. And then, when I would try and paint it, the colors would reactivate, and then it would, mix together and not become, quite money, although it did in the end, because I, went over it so many times and unintentionally reactivated it, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Wow, I lost my train of thought already. Okay, anyhow, so as you can see, I have a red towel, because if it was pink, the color would completely overpower the whole drawing, which it kind of already does, but I kind of like it. And then, Adonis, make a joke. Tell us a story.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to make up a story about this. So basically, my friends and I, the other witches, and the dog, have gone out to, we went out flying on our witch brooms, and we set up camp in a secret little beach island. And we're just hanging out there for the weekend. And, have you ever seen Black Panther? That's part of what inspired this as well. How there's people on the mountains when they're fighting towards the beginning of the movie. And towards the climax. Wow, this is really hard. This gets harder as each second passes, so just talk. So I feel like I should tell another story about something completely different, but the video's already close to ending. So here I am painting these clouds, and I filmed it on my phone camera because I don't have a tripod, because I'm broke. I don't make anything from YouTube. Not yet, anyway. The days are coming. One day you'll see. You'll all see. Or something like that. I put so much time into shading that towel, Like, it's literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Adonis, have you ever shaded a towel?
Have I ever dated a towel?
No, have you ever shaded a towel?
No. Sounds miserable.
Well, I know you're full of shade, so I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah, I've dated a few, though.
Local Stan says, breaking news, T burned down my house. Wow, okay, just act like you didn't hear me. Adonis, did the tea burn down your house?
Who?
Did the tea burn down your house?
About what? Oh, tea?
Yes, did it burn down your house? Did it break the internet?
Yeah. I'm still extinguishing the fire.
Have you ever seen tea cook crack on a spoon? Have you ever seen tea that was black on the moon? Okay, goodbye all. This was terrible. Forgive me.